أشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم. Today we have 5 things to discuss about Salatul Zuhr, because we should be coming into our text fully today. Al-Imām Ash-Shawkāni said, rahimahullah, أول وقت الظهر الزوال وآخره مصير ظل الشيء مثله سوى في الزوال. So we have about 5 things to discuss about Salatul Zuhr. And these 5 things will fall into, inshallah, the exactness of what the Imam said. He said, أول وقت الظهر الزوال. He says, وآخره مصير ظل الشيء مثله سوى في الزوال. We have about 5 or 6 things to discuss today regarding this expression by Al-Imām Ash-Shawkāni. But we are few today, perhaps because of the heavy downpour that we have experienced in the last few half an hour. So, as they say, my wish is your command. If you say that we should go ahead, bi'idhnillah, we should go ahead. We have 6 issues to discuss, bi'idhnillah, today. The first thing is that, what is the meaning of zuhr? What does it mean? What does az-zuhr mean? And Salatul Zuhr, does it have another name apart from this name, Salatul Zuhr? What other name does it have? The issue other than that is, the Shaykh mentioned Awwal Waqt Zuhr. So what is that? Because you can't be talking about Waqt Zuhr without knowing what is Zuhr. So that is why we must first of all try to explore what does the word az-zuhr mean. So if you say awwal waqt az-zuhr, we know what we are talking about, because we would have explored the meaning of the word az-zuhr. So we will want to ask ourselves again. So when he said awwal waqt az-zuhr, the beginning of the time for az-zuhr is az-zawal. We will discuss that. And then he says, وَآخِرُهُ It means that Salatul Zuhr has awwalul waqt wa akhirul waqt. The beginning, the time to commence that Salah, and the time that that Salah ends. So we discuss awwal waqt az-zuhr. We'll discuss akhiru waqt az-zuhr. He says, وَآخِرُهُ مَصِيرُ ظِلِّ الشَّيْءِ مِثْلَهُ سِوَى فَيْءِ الزَّوَالِ. The next question is, what does فَيْءُ الزَّوَالِ mean? Or ظِلُّ الزَّوَالِ, if you like. What does it mean? فَيْءُ الزَّوَالِ or ظِلُّ الزَّوَالِ. What does it mean? We would also like to investigate al-ibradu an salat az-zuhr. Al-ibrad, cooling down the time of zuhr, if you like, or delaying the time of zuhr until things cool down. What does it mean? Ulama say it is mustahab to have al-ibrad and waqt az-zuhr. That is to delay dhuhr at a particular time. This matter of al-ibrad and salat fi waqt al-dhuhr, what does it mean? What are the rulings surrounding it? So these 5 issues are our major concern today. So if you say we should go ahead, we will. If you say no, I won't, go ahead. What do we want? We should go ahead, inshallah. We will go ahead. Al-Imām Ash-Shawkāni rahimahullah said, أول وقت الظهر in Kitab al-Salah, in his book Ad-Durar Al-Bahiyyah في المسائل الفقهية. In his book Ad-Durar Al-Bahiyyah في المسائل الفقهية, it's a Kitab al-Salah, we explained. Babu Mawaqit al-Salah, we explained. So he went in and said, أول وقت الظهر الزوال. أول وقت الظهر الزوال وآخره مصير ذل الشيء مثله سوى فيء الزوال. And then he said, وهو أول وقت العصر. So what does it mean to say Zuhr, the first issue? What is the meaning of Zuhr, Zuhr, Zuhr? We say it a lot, go? The question is, what does it mean? Usually when I take a discourse, I always say it. We say many words, we don't ask what they mean. Zuhr, Zuhr, Zuhr. What does Zuhr mean? Ulama say, Zuhr Sa'atu Zawal. Al-Zuhur Sa'atu Zawal. Zuhur is that moment, that hour, that time period when the sun goes away from the horizon. Az-Zawal means the sun's going away from the horizon. In Yoruba they say, Tí òòrùn bá kúrò ní àtàrí. Àsìkò tí òòrùn kúrò ní àtàrí yẹn ni wọ́n ń pè ní kíni o? Zuhr. Àsìkò yẹn. The time when the sun, Sa'atu Zawal. The time when the sun goes away from the horizon, from east to west. From east to west. It starts from the east and sets at the west. But one day will come when it will exchange. May Allah protect us. Cool. But for now, its normal course is that it will rise from the east and set in the west. So when it rises and it goes up, at a point in time it will be directly above our heads. And then it will begin to descend. That moment when it goes off our head, that time is called Waqtu Zawal or what? Zuhr. That waqt, that moment when the sun leaves the horizon, begins to go to the west, that time is called Zuhr. And that word Zuhr was picked from the word Az-Zahira. Zahira is shiddatu harri shams, the intensity of the heat of the sun. That is the meaning of what? Zahira. Allah used that word in the Quran. In Surah An-Nur. Az-Zahira is shiddatu harri shams, the intensity of the heat of the sun. It is from that word Zahira that the word Zuhr is picked. Zuhr was picked from what? Az-Zahira. So this is the meaning of linguistically Az-Zuhr. So this salah to zuhr, when the Imam says awwalu waqti zuhr az-zawal, it meant that what he was saying is that awwalu waqti salati zuhr, because az-zuhr itself means sa'atu zawal. So he could not be talking about two things at the same time. To be tautologos, to be tautology. Awwalu waqti zawal az-zawal. So it meant when he said az-zuhr, which means the time when the sun goes away from the horizon, and salatul zuhr is the time we perform, the salah we perform at the time when the sun leaves the horizon. Salatul zuhr became to be shortened as what? As zuhr. So when he said awwalu waqti zuhr, what he meant was what? Awwalu waqti salatil zuhr az-zawal. Awwalu waqti salatil zuhr az-zawal. So salatul zuhr means salah performed at the time of what? Az-zawal. You see, that's why it says awwalu waqti zuhr az-zawal. Awwalu waqti salati zuhr az-zawal. The beginning of the time to perform salatul zuhr is when? Az-zawal. When is az-zawal? When the sun makes tajawuz, when it goes away from the horizon. We say the sun has made a zawal. This is the beginning of the time for Salatul Zuhr. So Salatul Zuhr, Salatul Zuhr, Salatul Zuhr. Does it have another name in the Sharia? Salatul Zuhr, Salatul Zuhr. This is the most common name it has. It has other names. Salatul Zuhr has another name or other names. One of its name is Salatul Ula or Al-Ula. Al-Ula, the first. Why is it called the first? Because when Jibreel alayhi salatu wasalam came to teach the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam about mawaqit salah, the first salah that he taught him to perform was what? Salatul Zuhr. So that's why the Salatul Zuhr is also called what? Al-Ula. So if you tell somebody, brother, is it time for Al-Ula? He doesn't know what you are talking about. But you are talking about what? Salatul Zuhr. Salatul Zuhr is also called Al-Ula. We will mention the hadith that proves it. Yes, it's proven. Hadith. The other name that Salatul Zuhr has is called Al-Hajira. Al-Hajira too. Hajira. Or Hajira. In my thinking, when I was thinking about this word Hajira, I think Yoruba picked Aila from this word Hajira. We will ask those who are specialists in Yoruba language. They call Salatul Zuhr, Aila. They must have got it from somewhere. Maybe from Hajira or Hajir. Either you say Hajira. They are all contained in Ahadith al-Sahihah, authentic narrations, Bukhari, Muslim, Sunan. Salatul Hajira or Salatul Hajira or Hajir. These are the names for Salatul Zuhr. Salatul Ula, Salatul Hajira, Salatul Hajira, Salatul Hajir. The Salah is called by all of these names. This is proven in the hadith of the companion radiyallahu anhu, whose name was Abu Barza Al-Aslami. Abu Barza Al-Aslami, also in the hadith of Jabir ibn Abdullah Al-Ansari, Bukhari and Muslim, and also in the hadith of Zayd ibn Thabit, that is contained in Musnad of Al-Imām Ahmad. All of these names, the ahadith that prove them occur in these books. But we'll read the hadith of Abu Barza Al-Aslami radiyallahu anhu. He was asked about the times he got old. And then people went to him and said, tell us the time for the Salawatul Maktuba, the times that the Prophet ﷺ would perform the obligatory prayers. Tell us. This means that the early Muslims used to go and learn the times of Salah. Shaykh Hussein Al-Awaisha, in his book Al-Mawsu'atul Fiqhiyya Al-Muyassara, he said he also went to Shaykh Al-Albani to learn the times of Salah. He has a book in 7 volumes. Al-Mawsu'atul Fiqhiyya is in 7 volumes. Al-Mawsu'atul Fiqhiyya is in 7 volumes. This Shaykh Hussein Al-Awaisha, he said he went to Imam Al-Albani to learn the times of Salah. These narrations like this are many in the books of Hadith and Athar. So they go to learn the times of Salah. Tell us the times of the prayers of the Prophet Muhammad. Then he says, Kana yusalli al-hajira. Kana yusalli al-hajira. And he explained, radiyallahu anhu, Allati tad'unaha al-ula. Kana yusalli al-hajira allati tusammunaha al-ula. The Messenger sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he used to perform al-hajira. He didn't say Salatul Zuhr. He said that hajira that you always call what? Al-ula. It meant amongst them, the Sahaba and the companions, it was common to also refer to Salatul Zuhr as what? Al-ula. And then he is also telling them that al-hajira, because he will not be saying hajira if they don't know the meaning of hajira. It's al-hajira that you call al-ula. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he used to perform it hina tadhudu shams. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam kana yusalli al-hajira allati tad'unaha al-ula hina tadhadu shams. When hina tadhadu shams, hina tazulu shams, yani hina zawal. حين تدحض الشمس حين تزول زوال زال يزول. So حين تزول الشمس يصلي الحجيرة التي تسمونها ماذا؟ الأولى. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he would perform al-hajira that you always refer to as what? Al-ula. He will perform it when the sun leaves the horizon. Which salah is that? Salatul Zuhr. This hadith specifically occurs in Sahih Muslim. It also occurs in Sahih Bukhari. It also occurs in Sunan al-Nasa'i. This expression that I read is that of Al-Imām al-Nasa'i in his Sunan. And he made a tabweeb on them. Likewise, like I said, Jabir ibn Abdullah al-Ansari reported it in Bukhari and Muslim, and Zayd ibn Thabit also reported it as collected by Al-Imām Ahmad in his Musnad. It also occurs in Sunan Abi Dawud. Al-Imām ibn Rajab al-Hanbali also mentioned them in his Sharh of Sahih Bukhari. So we can go back to this text. Salatul Zuhr is also referred to as what? Salatul Ula. Or what? Salatul Hajira. Or what? Hajira. Or what? Hajir. So all these are names for Salatul Zuhr. The next issue is Awwalu Waqti Zuhr. So we know what Zuhr means. Awwalu Waqti Salati Zuhr. Or Awwalu Waqti Al-Hajir. Or Awwalu Waqti Al-Ula. So all of these refer to Salatul Zuhr. So when is the beginning? The time that performing Salatul Zuhr should commence. The time that Salatul Zuhr becomes obligatory. Don't forget that Salawat are what? Kitaban Mawquta. They are obligatory at the time stated for them. So once that time is reached, the Salah becomes obligatory. Please let us note this. So when Salah becomes obligatory on us at 12:50, 12:55, we don't perform it until 1:32. We are carrying on our head big load. So it has been obligatory on us and we leave it till 2 o'clock. Oh, Diagomeji. Or the Agomedi. Who told you it is Agomedi? So that goes to tell us how we have been failing in the issues of Salah. Abdullah ibn Mas'ud said, radiyallahu anhu, they asked the Messenger alayhi salatu wasalam, Ayyul amal afdal? Ayyul amal afdal? Which of the deeds, which of all the deeds is better? What did he say? As-salatu fi awwali waqtiha. Observing the salah at its early times. And salah is mizanul iman. Cool? So the person who abandons salah, don't give him amana because he will abandon your amana. If a person abandons salah, I tell you, he will abandon amana. Don't give somebody amana if he is not regular in salah. Salat, mizanul iman. So everybody must adjust. We must adjust our times. When you go to your locality, the first thing to do is not to condemn them, is to educate them. They will follow you. When you educate them, they will follow you. It is not to fight them. Fight. Hey. No. Educate them first. When you educate them, because it will make sense to them. When Allah created our conscience, He made it to know good and evil. فَأَلْهَمَهَا فُجُورَهَا. So the basic ruling about everybody is that when you say the truth, he knows. So don't employ this to cause a trouble. Yes, so but how do you go about it? Islam has everything. How the status of something, how do you go about correcting that thing? Our brothers who say Muslims say no, this Western world, they are hypocrites. They are the ones causing war in Muslim world. They are the ones, yes. They supply weapons to the... I used to tell people, those people fighting in Borno State in Nigeria, where are they getting weapons from? They are producing their weapons inside the forest there. Read the Civil War accounts. Especially of somebody like General Obasanjo. You will feel somehow about the Western world. You will not be comfortable with them. Some of them double deal, two eyes. And some of them were clearly supporting arms, sending arms to Biafra. Even ICRC, or was there, the International Red Cross Menene, they too were involved. They shot down one of their planes in Lagos. And because they told him not to fly, he flew. You know what that means when the army say don't fly if you fly? This is in report. General Obasanjo has a book he wrote, My Command. Sorry. But I read books like that because they make us know where we are coming from. If any young Igbo boy reads that book, he will not say they want Biafra. Yes, because they had already swallowed the pride. This is not our issue here. The point here is the Western world double deal a lot. So if some Muslims say they are double dealing, which we will not go agree, we go and bomb them. No. Yes, they are double dealing, but there is a way Islam also recommends that you correct that ill. Follow the due process. Islam says perform Hajj. Yes. But does it say steal money to go for Hajj? You see now. Islam says marry, have a wife in your house. Does it say grab somebody's daughter and put her in your house and take her to be your wife? No. So when Islam says do something, there is a way it says go about it too. The two are important. The wasila is important. The gaya is important. So if it is important that we perform Salah to Zuhr at this time, how you go about it is also important. So don't forget the two, because I don't want you to stand up and say, go back to the masajid and cause trouble. No. Educate the people. You too, you didn't know yesterday until you were educated. So enlightenment is very, very important. Don't leave it out. In fact, what is da'wah if not enlightenment? So awwalu waqti zuhur az-zawal. The first time, the time that Salatul Zuhur begins, is the time of zawal. And the meaning of zawal is the sun's descent from the horizon, that Yorubas refer to as pe ohun ti kúrò ní àtàrí. This is az-zawal. And the Salatul Zuhr can be referred to as Salatul Ula or what? Al-Hajirah. These are names for Salatul Zuhr. Allah said in the Quran that Aqimis Salata liduluki shams. Go. So that lam will say lamul waqt. So that is the first evidence that Salatul Zuhr awwalu waqtiha is what? Az-zawal. Because duluku shams means what? Zawalu shams. Aqimis salata li duluki shamsi means what? Aqimis salata li zawali shams. So the first evidence that Salatul Zuhr awwalu waqti Zuhr az-zawal is that verse in the Quran. Do we get this point, ikhwan? If we had wanted to brush it off, we will take the entirety of 5 daily salah as one day in a class. But I don't want to do that at all. Because in this town, we may never be able to come back to classes like this again. Yes. So we'll go gradually. Zuhr. Awwalu waqti Zuhr az-zawal. The time that the sun leaves the horizon. You must be able to know it. I must be able to know it. So whether you have a wristwatch with you or you don't, fine, kill I go in there. I go meji abo. I'm femo baya ilati toni. Awwal waqti Zuhr az-zawal. What is az-zawal? The sun's leaving the horizon. How do you know that the sun has left the horizon? You can ask me that question, Ko. Is it a valid question? Is it a valid question? Yes, it's a valid question. How do we know? Because Islam is for all. It's called one of the ulama, rahimahullah. He said Allah made the awqat to salah to be easy. Al-Imām Ibn Rajab specifically. He said every alim, jahil, talib, gairu talib, everybody will know it. It's not hidden. And he made it something that is heavenly. So we are all looking up. Allahu Akbar. Some of the ulama say that is the evidence that Allah is above the heavens. So before salah, he wants to amma walking. So how do we know that there is zawal? But perhaps before them we should read the narrations that affirm that awwalu waqti zuhr az-zawal. The first one is that hadith of Abu Barza. Yes, the verse of the Quran, but from Sunnah, that hadith of Abu Barza that kana Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam yusalli al-hajira hina yadhhadu ash-shamsu. kana Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam يصلي الهجير التي تسمونها الأولى حين يضحض الشمس. That is one evidence that أول وقت الظهر دحض الشمس يعني زوال الشمس. I hope we get this point. That verse of the Quran is evidence. Then this hadith of Abu Barza is also evidence that أول وقت الظهر الزوال. Anas ibn Malik radiyallahu anhu, he says, Anna Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa alihi wa sallam kharaja hina zaghat ash-shams. Zaghat, zalat, zaghat, zalat. Zalat means when it leaves the horizon. It says, kharaja Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam hina zaghat ash-shams, at the time that the sun had descended, had left the horizon. خَرَجَ فَصَلَّى بِهِمْ صَلَاةَ الظُّهْرِ. He left, he went out and led them in Salatul Zuhr. So you see now, we have established Salatul Zuhr, we have established the name Salatul Ula, we have also established the name Salatul Hajira or Hajira. So awwalu waqti Salatul Zuhr az-zawal. He said, kharaja hina zagat. He went out when the sun had left the horizon. And then he made Salatul Zuhr. He led us in Zuhr. That hadith is the hadith of Anas ibn Malik. And it occurs in Bukhari, it occurs in Muslim, it occurs in Sunan al-Nasai and other books of hadith. The hadith of Anas ibn Malik radiyallahu anhu. Abdullah ibn Abbas radiyallahu anhuma. He says, the messenger said, alayhi salatu wassalam, Ammani Jibrilu. alayhi salam. Ammani Jibril inda babil bayti marratayn. Ammani Jibril inda babil bayti marratayn. Jibril led me in the salah. In the bab, the door leading to Masjid al-Haram, Bab al-Bayt. Around it, the door of the Kaaba, the door of the Kaaba. Around that door, in the bab, near the door, he led me in salah, alayhi salatu salam, twice, marratain. We said in the last class that Jibril came twice, he came on the first day and he came on the second day. He said he came twice, marratain. فَصَلَّى بِيَ الظُّهْرَ حِينَ زَالَتِ الشَّمْسِ. Then he led me in Zuhr حِينَ زَالَتِ الشَّمْسِ, when the sun left the horizon. So that's why we say أول وقت الظهر الزوال زوال الشمس. أول وقت صلاة الظهر زوال الشمس. The first moment when the time of Salatul Zuhr begins is Zawal Shams, when the sun leaves the horizon. That hadith of Abdullah ibn Abbas occurs in Musnad Al-Imām Ahmad. It also occurs in Sunan Abi Dawud. It also occurs in Sahih of Al-Imām Ibn Khuzaymah and other books of hadith. Al-Imām Al-Nawawi, before him Ibn Abdul Barri Al-Namari, people like Al-Imām Ibn Qudama Al-Muqdasi in Al-Mughni, Al-Imām Ash-Shawkāni, Al-Imām As-San'ani, A'imma. They say, to say that Salatul Zuhur starts at the time of Zawal is Ijma'. One of the evidence is what? Ijma'. So, that Awwal Waqti Zuhur is Az-Zawal. It has evidence in what? In the Quran. It has evidence in what? In Sunan. It has evidence in what? Ijma'. Awwal Waqti Zuhur Az-Zawal. That the waqt of Zuhur, the time of Salatul Zuhur, starts at the time of Az-Zawal. Al-Imam Al-Nawawi said, أجمعت الأمة على أن أول وقت الظهر زوال الشمس. The Ummah is agreed على أن أول وقت الظهر, that the first time that Salatul Zuhur will commence is what? Zawal al-Shams, when the sun leaves the horizon. He then said, نقل الإجماع, this consensus has been transmitted regarding it. فيه خلائق, regarding it. خلائق نقل الإجماع.